There's that 500 gold shutdown from Carzzy available. Hopefully he's able to get it. Stretching strikes ends up not landing on either of the Morgana or the Rammus. Eventually we have the Kalista go down to Carzzy, who's just going unchecked completely over here. We need to have somebody go on top of him, or else he's just going to end up outputting all the damage. He already has 2 kills. He's moving on to Raxes. He flashes in, and he has the rest of the red team on him. Morgana might be able to come over and land a black shield. He doesn't get his 3rd kill in this fight. All right, so hopping right in the game. Obviously, our premier player that we're going to want to keep an eye on, as we just mentioned in our little pre-game chat, is going to be Havno Zikos on the Caitlyn AD carry in the bot lane for blue team. Not obviously. What I found out while doing some research is that's actually Carzzy for Mad Lions. As you hopefully know, Mad Lions is going to be the representative for the LEC in the mid-season invitational, and that's really kind of the theme of our upcoming cast. Is we're really going to want to start, or I'm really going to want to start featuring players that are going to be making it to that mid-season invitational, not only for me to kind of get a little bit more familiarized with those players, but also so that way you guys can kind of join me on that journey. We see some scuffling happening with Bwipo and Daniel Hernandez. Bwipo, as you can see, is playing Zac Jungle this game. It's a little funny because the last game we casted with Bwipo, he was also playing jungle. It was a Rengar that game instead, and Zac, he has not played 1 time this season in solo queue. So interesting to see here. I'm sure they want to hopefully defend what is this control war that is set out for Vision in case of a potential invade, but it looks like red team Sushi and Raxes are going to be able to clear that out and get some early gold. Unfortunate, I believe that gold was donated from Bwipo. It looks like he only has 1 health potion on him. It's not going to matter too much on Zac Jungle, considering that he does heal a bunch from his passive little blobs that he sprays on the floor anytime he is clearing the jungle. So even though he's down about 75 gold, it's not going to be that big of a loss. Just hopefully he'll be able to not suffer too bad from that. Looking at the bot lane, again, Havno Zikos is going to be Carzzy, our Mad Lions representative for LEC. We also have G2 Zumei, who's playing with him. Not an actual G2 player, don't get it twisted. He is just apparently using that for his in-game name this season. He typically plays Janna and also Yuumi, and not Morgana really ever. Only 1 game on the Morgana this season. And I do believe he picked that considering there is an enemy Rammus in the jungle in this game. Obviously, Black Shield's going to be able to absorb any taunt or what is now Rammus's ult with that knockup. So a pretty strong pick specifically against the jungler, and also Thresh to kind of block hooks or to block what is Kalista's ultimate from a knockup or block the flay. So, I mean, I love Morgana. Morgana is one of those champions that now you can flex into the jungle. So a really strong solo queue pick because you don't know where that's going. We have Rammus making his way to the mid lane to try to gank insane Danish dude who I have not mentioned yet is Caps. He has to flash over the wall, and Bwipo is here to hopefully able to help him out. Weaboo Slayer also has to flash over the wall to get away from that pressure from Bwipo. And now they're just going to both walk away. Both junglers are going to go back to their respective jungles. It looks like Rammus is going to have Prio in bot lane to be able to kind of nab that early scuttle. And moving on from there, it looks like he might even try to go through Tribush into that bot lane. Hi, Polaris. Nice to see you. Thanks for popping in the game. A nice flash in from Rammus, and a taunt is able to net on that Morgana for a pretty early first blood, pretty easy first blood too. She already used her Black Shield on Caitlyn. And so after you see that Black Shield come out as Rammus, you're immediately smell blood on anybody else around you at that moment. So a little bit of an early pop from the Black Shield from Morgana. She, of course, didn't know that Rammus was making his way to the bot lane, already powerballing in. And so it was just kind of unfortunate timing overall there for her. But now we have Carzzy in the bot lane fending for himself against Thresh and the Kalista. Hopefully he'll be okay there. It looks like Morgana's already making her way back to lane and is warding up the Tribush to hopefully not net another death down there. Lulu going hard on the top lane on Shen, seeing if she can net a kill here. I don't think she has enough damage, but what she is gaining from that is pushing him completely off what is some potential farm. He's going to need to go back and then more than likely teleport to his lane so he doesn't fall too far behind this early game Lulu pressure, which is really just kind of like the most annoying thing when you play against Lulu in the top lane. Any ranged top laner, people always feel bad playing against. Lulu is a very strong duelist, believe it or not, early on. She really starts falling off towards the mid and late game and ending up more as she's meant to be in a support role. But at least early game, she's really good at pushing any melee laner off of her turret, off of lane. Regardless, it's really hard to farm when you're playing top lane. I did mention briefly when he was getting ganked that insane Danish dude is actually Caps. This is one of his sub accounts, I believe. I don't know if this is his main account. He is playing Ziggs. He has not played Ziggs at all this season, and he's playing against a very experienced Zed in 420 Weaboo Slayer. It looks like we have Bwipo in the side over here, hopefully trying to help him out. He does get the stretching strikes off on Weaboo Slayer to net a stun, and then finally we are able to get that kill over to Bwipo. Unfortunately not over to Caps, but it's going to be strong on Zac regardless. He's going to help him push out this lane. I love Weaboo Slayer. Weaboo Slayer playing that Zed, he is, if not one of the best Zed player in EU West. So honestly, even with that early game kill, I'm pretty hopeful that he'll still be able to make a mockery of what is a tough champion to play into him, which is Ziggs. Obviously, again, like we were just talking with Lulu, Ziggs is range, Zed is not, so he's going to have that over him. But really, you'll see more than likely as this game continues that Weaboo can really just make any player's head spin, even if it is a pro player. So we'll keep an eye on him. Unfortunately, he went down to a little bit of an early gank from Zac and Bwipo, the two pro players helping each other out. And honestly, Ziggs and Caps playing Ziggs is such a strange champion. He's not great. He's not terrible. I love Ziggs personally. I think Ziggs is really fun to play. But he's just in a weird spot. He might need some sort of rework or something. Hold on. Weeboo's coming down here to the bot lane. Again, the Black Shield was used early. He doesn't have enough support. The minions were coming out of the turret. He's not going to be able to go any further there or take his shadow into that. So good on him to just try to get some pressure. But the whole while, we have Caps in the mid lane trying to push down as many plates as he can before Weaboo returns. Rammus and Sushi is also making his way there. I hope directed camera eventually ends up working out here. Let me do it myself, apparently. It looks like he's going to try to do some outplay here with his satchel to try to get away from Sushi, but also Weaboo Slayer is under fire here. He does get taunted. I don't think Rammus has anywhere near enough damage to really put good pressure on him. And while Bwipo was getting zoned out by Weaboo in the mid lane, he wasn't able to make his way over there to help Caps out to try to net any kill on that. So now both blue and red team are just going to walk away out of here. Morgana even walked her little happy butt to the mid lane, but I don't believe unless she hits a dark binding on Weaboo, really nothing is going to come of this besides some ward clearing. All the while, Carzzy's been left to fend for himself in the bot lane. He does get flayed by the Thresh. The hook, I do believe, misses overall, but he has so many spears into Carzzy that hopefully Kalista will be able to finish this. No, she goes into the Spirit's Refuge from Shen, who used his ultimate to save her life, and he eventually walks out of there with, I believe, what's going to end up being, a double kill for Carzzy. So instead of going down with all of that pressure being applied to him from... Do I know what... Sorry, I'm reading chat right now. Do I know what Havno Zikos means in English? No, please enlighten me. I would love to know what it means. All I know is that that's Carzzy. And what I was trying to state was that while he's in the bot lane all by himself there, obviously on the red team, you have that kind of... that you have that oomph to say, hey, you know, while this Morgana is roaming, we need to make a play. And it looks like Shen had such great awareness with his ultimate just coming up not so long ago. He just recently hit that level 6, that it's going to be a pretty easy kill, a double kill over for Carzzy, thanks to a lot of team support. So even with that, we don't look like any teams trying to move for Dragon as of yet. What was a pretty even top lane has now moved slightly in the favor of Shen, thanks to having now 2 assists on him from that previous double kill that we just witnessed. And now, until we see another objective come up, we'll more than likely just see our lanes kind of farm, see if we can get some plates on mid lane. Where is Caps right now? Where is he? Oh, there he is. He's coming over the wall. Looks like Weaboo is going to spot him and try to ultimate in on him immediately. Goes in, has the proc down. I don't know if he needs to stay in so long. He ends up dying. Jeez, he ends up dying eventually too. 2 turret shots and some additional damage from Caps. I believe he was saying, if I can't have blue buff, neither can you. And so both Ziggs and Weaboo end up going down in the mid lane. Here comes a Kalista ultimate that ends up hitting nothing. The Morgana Black Shield blocks the Rammus Slam. What was that thing called? His new Slam ultimate. I forget the technical name for it, but that 3-person kind of hide over the wall is going to end up in nothing. We see now Shen has a little bit more agency in top lane to hopefully affect Lulu and see if he can push her out of the lane. But now that he's completely out of ability, she's going to be able to just walk him down with auto attacks. Very frustrating for the Shen regardless. Blue team looks like they're playing a little bit more safe, and I'm getting some information from the chat on Twitch that that Havno Zikos actually means shit from the trash bin. When you translate that into English. So now that we know that better, I don't think Carzzy totally believes in himself on that. Raxes ends up going down to both a gank from the mid lane as well as a Bwipo in the jungle. Really close fight, ended up staying a little bit too long there though, unfortunately. But all the while, again, Weaboo doing all he can to answer this, which is going to be trying to push down turret plates. Kalista ends up going down thanks to that beautiful binding from Zumei. Locks her up for about 2 seconds. Really nothing you can do there, especially when you capitalize on it with the Caitlyn traps. And now here comes Bwipo onto Sushi, or Sushi onto Bwipo rather. Bwipo's trying to get away. He's going very low, but he's healing up so much from his passive. The ultimate miss from Zig with his last bomb hit. It does to finally take out Sushi there. He ends up going down. A lot of question mark pings coming out from the red team, seeing if where's Weaboo Slayer, but if we can see on our right-hand side over here, Weaboo doesn't even have ultimate, so if he was to go in there, he more than likely would end up falling as well. Looks like Raxes on Lulu is going to try to do something to this Zac, but I believe he still has passive, and Zumei all the while now has been caught thanks to that Kalista ultimate. No, it was just actually a hook in the bot lane. Again, the Kalista gets binded, and we have Carzzy make his way down there to again hit his trap combo with the dark binding and end up getting that kill on Kalista instead of it going the other way onto the Morgana player. Very surprising there. Really expected Morgana to go down. Lots of action happening in this game, but overall, it's really tilting into the blue team's favor, considering we already have 8 kills to 2. We're about 3k ahead already, maybe 2.5k ahead. Weaboo's now on the back end of G2 Caps here. I don't believe he has ultimate. He does. I'm surprised he has not used it. Here it comes. Finally, here comes Shen ultimate as well. More than likely, Weaboo's going to have enough damage to go through unless the stopwatch is used on on G2 Caps. Now Weaboo needs to try to run away here. This Shen more than likely won't have taunt up again quick enough, and he doesn't. Weaboo's able to shadow away and is more than likely frustrated, considering that, oh, okay, oof, I thought that was going to kill. I thought that was going to kill Weaboo, but actually just ended up killing the turret with the satchel. More than likely super frustrated that Caps bought that really early stopwatch. It's a pretty heavy gold investment, but obviously very necessary when you're against a lane like Zed, who really aims to 100-0 you. It's now gone, so hopefully that'll play well. He's going to have to do a little bit of dodging in the mid lane. Weaboo is against these bouncing bombs from Ziggs, but he'll more than likely be fine. It seems like Caps feels like something is up, and finally we see the first dragon go down. Thankfully for the red team, because they are pretty far behind right now. They're behind first turret, many plates. Thank goodness, a beautiful smite from Rammus comes out. Now Bwipo's going to be in heavy danger, but not before the blue team's bot lane makes their way here. We have a 4-0 Carzzy making his way in. Bwipo has done enough damage to everybody and knocked them up just enough to allow Carzzy to get his first kill. He'll more than likely get the second one as well on the Thresh, but no, it goes over to Bwipo with a nice stretching strike and also his E. And now we're going to be on the chase here, on the hunt for the Morgana. Almost dead is the Kalista, but thanks to that Lulu ultimate, she was saved. And Dark Binding is going to be so difficult to hit as Kalista is just hopping away and Zed's shadowing away that red team should just be pleased. They were able to get that dragon, but unfortunately the gold difference is now going to slip even more out of their favor and into the blue team. We're now about 5k gold behind, 5.5k gold behind, and even more turret plates, as we can see in the bot lane now, going over to the blue team. And we have about a minute before these tower plates are gone, but Ziggs satchel charge will make sure that we get all 5 plates down here for the blue team right about now. And there it goes. And Kalista might overstep here. I do believe she just thought only 2 people were in the bot lane, but it ends up being actually 4 people overall. It looks like she was able to go ahead and jump out of there away from that pressure, but now red team is converging. Sushi might try to get a little flank here. A beautiful hook comes out from blows a bit and ends up taking out Caps, and now we have Rammus on the run. Again, the black shield is available, and she uses it a little bit too preemptively, but then flashes in the way to at least prevent the knockup there. Now we have Bwipo going in the backline, doing what he can to be a tank and save the rest of his team, but it's just going to be a lamb for slaughter. He eventually ends up going down. Oh, he does kill the Kalista as well. I didn't even notice that. He does end up going down to Weaboo Slayer. So overall, about a 2-for-1, thanks to that beautiful Thresh hook coming out from blows a bit to catch Caps before they were able to retreat from that tier 2 turret. So a little bit of gold evening here. Honestly, the biggest shutdown that we need to see come through, and really the only shutdown in the game available left, is going to be on oh no, that bouncing bomb. That's why we need to go back. Hold on. But first, Weaboo Slayer's going to go and use his ultimate, go back to his first shadow, go back to his second shadow, end up netting the kill. But in case you missed it, there was a Shen ultimate on Caps the whole time. That was pretty difficult to see considering all the damage output that Weaboo Slayer was putting out. He ends up eventually going down to the Shen. Was it Shen or Morgana? Yeah, to the Shen eventually, thanks to that beautiful map awareness from Daniel Hernandez and protecting his beautiful LEC mid laner in Caps. But Unfortunately, what should have been an easy kill ends up being 3 people converging on a Weaboo Slayer. So that's some of the stuff I was talking about a little bit earlier about how Weaboo Slayer can really make your head spin and how he just hops all over the place. He does have the Prowler's Claw now, so that's even an additional displacement and an additional dash that he's going to have. So if he keeps playing this well, there might be a little bit difficulty for the blue team. But the biggest concern, again, is the fact that Carzzy is going completely untouched on the Caitlyn. It is a nice 2v1 up here. Potentially we'll see some sort of catch, but we do have blue team available in the river for him if they decide to go a little bit too deep on him. We even see Rammus kind of hanging out up here, seeing if anything's available. But I don't believe anything is going to come of this unless Thresh gets a little too hyphy. We have the Kalista ultimate if Thresh needs help. No, she's just going to back in the bush actually up here and just save her own life instead of opting to help her support, which is more than likely the best call. She needs to make sure she keeps herself safe. If she used the ultimate, she would more than likely die. Now, Sushi's trying to run away. He used the Ram's ultimate over the wall and then also has to flash to escape the taunt from Shen. That's going to be enough. But now Bwipo has found himself in a 2v1 over here, but he has Caps coming in. The stretching strikes aren't going to be able to stun the Weaboo Slayer, but now he's trying to go in. G2 Caps is so low, he might end up going down to a spear. We have Kalista finally hop in there, and then she hops herself into danger potentially. Shen himself has to flash out now, and a nice dark binding slows down the Rammus pursuit, but he's going to have Powerball up any second now, and if he doesn't take this blast plant over the wall, Daniel Hernandez, he's going to be in trouble. And here he comes, being in trouble. We have Kalista on top of him. He eventually goes down to the Kalista spears and the Rend. And will red team try to pursue even more here? They will. There's that 500 gold shutdown from Carzzy available. Hopefully he's able to get it. Stretching strikes ends up not landing on either of the Morgana or the Rammus. Eventually we have the Kalista go down to Carzzy, who's just going unchecked completely over here. We need to have somebody go on top of him or else he's just going to end up outputting all the damage. He already has 2 kills. He's moving on to Raxes. He flashes in and he has the rest of the red team on him. Morgana might be able to come over and land a black shield. He doesn't get his 3rd kill in this fight. It is now legendary. Here comes the black shield, so Thresh can do absolutely nothing. A beautiful flay comes out from Blows a bit to at least stop the, what was that? Stop the Zac from coming in onto them, but it doesn't matter. Here comes the 4th kill of the team fight for Carzzy. And if he's able to get this Thresh, it will be a pseudo pentakill, but he's going to be too far over the wall that he's just going to end up giving it to Caps here with, once he hits one of these bouncing bombs. Here it comes. I swear there's the next one is going to, all right. See, this is specifically the problem with Ziggs. And maybe one more here. Thank goodness, dude. He was about... Blows a bit was about to get that blast plant and be very much out of safety, if not at least, out of danger, and probably be in safety for about another 5 seconds. Really give them the runaround. Finally, a bouncing bomb hits, and that's not saying Caps is bad in any way. We know he's one of the best mid laners in EU West and the LEC. However, Ziggs is just a wonky champion, and bouncing bomb is honestly just one of the strangest skill shots to hit. You really kind of rely on its explosion radius for doing the most damage, but that first contact is always so difficult. So that was a great showcase of how difficult it is, honestly, to hit Ziggs bomb when you have a competent opponent like is Blows a bit running away there. Quick water. I'm going to suffocate after all that action. But it's not stopping here. G2's in the mid lane, and we have a nice Rammus Powerball coming out. A Ghost comes out from Ziggs because he has the Unsealed Spellbook, so he was able to swap out his summoner spells. He's continuing to go in, but we have the fastest Rammus in the world here. Eventually uses ultimate to not knock up the Ziggs because the black shield was available there. Morgana has at least 1 stun available onto the Kalista thanks to her chains, and then we have the rest of the blue team now here cleaning up the fight. Sushi's going to be going down so quickly to a bunch of damage, mostly magic damage, and unfortunately he's armor heavy at this moment, and Kalista's going to have to hopefully get away here, but she's really not going to have any hope. We have too much movement on Bwipo. Raxes, just like we were seeing Blows a bit do earlier, is going to just try to lead the blue team on a little bit of a goose chase here. He more than likely at the best can sacrifice himself to turret, but no, that is not going to happen. Carzzy is too strong. He's now on 11 kills, no deaths. He has a full 1,000 or 700 gold shutdown, however you want to refer to it. And the man is just putting on a clinic at this moment. We need Weaboo, we need Zed, we need Rammus, somebody to hop on him, but it's so difficult for anybody but potentially Weaboo to really just burst him down 100% because we have the Morgana Black Shield. He might be in danger here finally, but he has a beautiful Yordle Snap Trap to save him, as well as I was just mentioning, the Morgana Black Shield, so really no CC can be applied to him from Thresh or the Rammus. It looks like the red team's just going to give up to what was potentially their only chance so far this game to catch Carzzy. And he's going to be able to just get some additional farm here, more than likely go back and spend some money. It looks like at least Morgana is to get some additional wars, setting her up for what is going to be the first Baron spawn in about 40 seconds. Again, Carzzy is now all alone in the middle lane, and we might see red team start to converge on what they think is just Caps up here in the top lane, but he clearly has some support from Bwipo. They get spotted out by a Scryer trinket or a blue trinket, and they're just going to walk away. Weaboo, even with, again, Carzzy being 11 kills and only 3 assists, mostly all the money on him. Weaboo doesn't even feel confident enough, it seems like, without having enough vision on the blue team to even try to 100-0 this guy without some assistance from his team. And here comes Rammus again with a power ball. Beautiful slam coming out from him as well, the new ultimate. But even with that taunt, there's just not enough damage follow-up. A nice ultimate from the Ziggs ends up netting at least 200 damage on both of them, and followed up by the Carzzy damage. Here comes Weaboo Slayer trying to take out anybody. He does take out one. Finally ends up getting Carzzy down there. Now Kalista is going to be here with the rest of her team, trying to get away from this bouncing blob that's on her face. Caps is now in trouble. Beautiful hook again comes out from Blows a bit. The second one ends up being blocked by Bwipo, but he's going to eventually go down. His passive is ready. I don't think blue team's going to be able to protect him here. There's no teleports available except for on the Ziggs, and Caps really cannot afford to hop in there. Oh, so close to getting away. He did end up respawning, but unfortunately those Kalista spears were just too many in him and too many stuck that she was able to finally rip those out of him and net the kill on him. So 3 kills for 1, it seems to be here. I believe it was 3 kills for 1. Nope, 3 kills for 2. When that fight was all said and done, 3 kills for the red team and then 2 kills for the blue team. So at least somewhat in their favor in one of these team fights, thanks to, again, the fact that Carzzy finally got bursted down and we had a bunch of gold move over into Weaboo's hands. So that's great. Weaboo's going to be one of our top premier players on the red team. It's just going to be so difficult because while Carzzy, yes, is our premier player here, he is what is the most ahead on the blue team. Everyone else is a problem as well. We have Bwipo on Zac, who's pretty decently far ahead of his jungle counterpart, the Rammus, who is now 1-5. We also have Caps, who's just a great player all around. He also has a lot of money on him, already 2 items deep, and has the Zhonya's Hourglass, so he's going to be hard to burst. So really, overall, going to be a difficult game. Sushi24, I don't think I mentioned yet on the Rammus, is actually a really solid player. He doesn't play Rammus that often. I assume he's trying this new ultimate out. But he is a jungle main and a Twitch streamer. He goes by King Hammer on Twitch. So if you're wanting to learn some more jungle, you could always check him out. Obviously having a rough game overall, again, more than likely due to the Morgana Black Shield. Pretty hard counter when it comes to the Rammus. Oof! 1 headshot to the Rammus ends up doing up about 1/5 of his health. He's just a little bit too far behind of this very, very fed Caitlyn in Carzzy. Bwipo looking for anything, potentially engage in the mid lane, but I do believe the next fight we're going to see is going to be centered around the Mountain Dragon that is spawning in about 30 seconds at this moment. Red team, if they have one positive at this moment, is that blue team really has little to no vision in this Dragon Side river, so maybe they'll be able to catch someone, but they were all just sitting in that river brush that had the only word available to blue team, so they knew exactly where they were. Kalista needs to be careful here. She might be overextending a bit. We get a hook off on Bwipo, but that's not going to be enough for them. Rammus comes in and does finally get the taunt off on the Caitlyn, but the team for red is not ready to follow up, and now that he's in the middle of 4 players, he does get the Lulu ultimate, but he's still eventually going to end up dying there to the mass focus. Kalista eventually goes down too as well, kind of frontlining herself and putting her ahead there. Weavu's going to see if he can pick up anything at the back end here. He does use the Prowler's Claw and the ultimate on... Oh gosh, I actually don't even know. On the Shen, I believe? I actually don't know where that ultimate went off for Weaboo Slayer, but regardless, the Shen taunt was able to hit him and lock him up against what was 5 players available to protect whoever he was going to jump on. So now that we have 3 members down for the red team, that's going to set blue team up for a very easy Baron in where what was going to be a dragon call previously, but now that we have both the jungler down, who is now coming back in Rammus, and 2 of our main damage dealers on red team, is going to be a very simple Baron. All red team can hope to do for the players that are left alive is potentially to maybe get like an easy skill shot off here, but Carzzy is now getting caught out by the Thresh, gets hooked. Here comes Rammus as well, but the Black Shield is going to end up protecting him once again this game, having so much value. And now, just like we saw last time, after Rammus pops his little head in there, he then puts himself in the middle of 4 killers. Zumei is going very low. He has the Black Shield himself to get out of there. A nice huge ultimate from Caps ends up hitting 3 of the additional players. Rammus eventually is able to shut down Carzzy thanks to him getting in one more time. But Shen actually, who did Shen just murder right there? I missed that. Oh no, Weaboo is our last surviving member on red team. Gets binded and is not going to be able to move, which is really what he needs to do on the Shen to be able to survive these team fights. but eventually ends up having to stay still and die there. Who did Shen kill over here? And I almost kind of missed where Carzzy eventually fall down. He is 100 health, 50 health now. Rammus just ends up getting him with with his W damage after the auto attack ends up killing him. And Shen is now focusing on Weaboo Slayer, who eventually kills the Morgana, but she dark binded him before she died, which is as much as she could do, and then he ends up dying. So Carzzy ends up being one of the only people who can kill himself. After auto-attacking the Rammus, that's what made him... spelt his demise, I think is the best way to say that. He ended up auto-attacking the Rammus with his W on. Rammus also has the Bramble Best, so there's a little bit of additional damage there. But really him just being so low, he's had pretty much perfect positioning this whole game. The only person who ended up being able to kill him in that last team fight was, again, himself. So a little bit hilarious there. Another dragon's going to go over to blue team. The second one here, a mountain dragon. They have just by and far two really great dragons when it comes to win percentage and nabbing them. An ocean dragon now, a mountain dragon now. And this game's looking, if it wasn't already about 5 minutes ago, a little hopeless for the red team. Team fights really aren't going in their favor. We've seen the fact that Carzzy can really even shred the Rammus player as long as he has more than 500 health. Carzzy, it doesn't kill himself. And now that we've really seen the rest of the lanes bleeding here, now the macro play is going into the favor of blue team. What was the first dragon going over to the red team and Wind Dragon, now we've only seen objectives and barons and towers being pushed into the blue team's favor. So they'll more than likely flex their Baron muscle here and probably move up mid lane. We're already past the 20-minute mark, so it's okay to take an inhibitor at this point. Looks like we're going to do some ward clearing before we make our way there. We do have Shen in the bot lane, but obviously it's okay for Shen to split push, considering he's going to have the ultimate available for him and teleport, even if he needs to make his way back. Weaboo is just playing a little bit of ring around the rosy with him, and is going to potentially try to burst him. I don't know if he has anywhere near... Oh my gosh, he does have enough damage to burst down the Shen. Holy cow. He's now going to have to be on the run, though, from 4 members of the blue team. Can you believe Weaboo is able to completely burst down the Shen player? He might be just end up trying to get some additional farm here. He knows he's not going to be able to back here, so he might try to just burst Carzzy, but no. He's going to have to... Oh my gosh. He half health Carzzy before finally going down to 2 additional auto attacks there. Red team the whole while blue team all of a sudden decided to completely focus on Weaboo Slayer, was able to get tier 2 mid turret for themselves, but that's going to be all they're really able to get at all. They're going to have to back out now. Zac comes in, or Bwipo comes in, getting the stretching strikes off on the Lulu. She does have to ultimate herself, so that is now completely down. Kalista is now focusing what seems to be Bwipo, but then eventually slips over to Caps. A nice taunt comes over on Caps as well, so there goes the shutdown onto the Rammus. Unfortunately, not the Kalista. We do have Bwipo in the back end now using his ultimate, bouncing on every member they can on the blue team, and Carzzy's here as well, so he's able to completely burst down the Kalista with all that CC additional. And just what we were saying, this Rammus isn't going to be able to hold a candle to Carzzy as long as he has all of his health, which he didn't previously. A triple kill eventually goes down for him onto the Lulu, and more than likely this is going to be the ultimate or the finishing push here for the blue team. They're going to make their way up middle lane with 3 members of the red team dead. Weaboo, our only kind of damage dealer on the red team, is going to be our last line of defense here with blows a bit and his amazing, astounding Thresh hooks, but more than likely it's just not going to be anywhere near enough for them to end up stopping what is one of the best tower pushers in the game of Caitlyn when she's this fed. And let's not forget the fact, if he was alive, Caps as well in Ziggs and his ability to just murder turrets. It looks like blue team's actually going to back out here, though. All those respawn timers on red team were able to come up before they had a minion wave available for them to push down this mid turret, so very upsetting. Even after that pretty big team fight win for blue team, they weren't really able to capitalize on anything more than, as you're seeing now, Bwipo in their jungle taking all their buffs. So at least they're still losing overall gold on the red team, but it would have been great to see at least 1 turret, 1 inhibitor go down there after that huge team fight win for blue team. Our next big objective coming up is going to be the second Baron of the game. 3 tasty wards available here for King Keduii in the mid lane, and they do end up also getting the Scuttle Crab. So it looks like Vision is slightly being won by the red team. Their only really hope is going to be at this point is catching out Carzzy, because even if they catch out Caps and he has any member of his team around him, he has the Zhonya's Hourglass to at least buy him some time. So if Carzzy goes down, it might be possible to win a team fight. And if he keeps kind of frontlining like this, it might be even more possible, thanks to him pushing out. Here comes the Zed ultimate on Carzzy, but he gets ultimated by the Lulu. Eventually, Weaboo goes down for being a little bit too deep in the team fight. Here comes Rammus as well in the back end, but it's going to be too late for him to get a valuable taunt off an enemy because Kalista and Weaboo are already down. Bwipo eventually takes out the Rammus also, so now 3 members on the red team down. This beautiful group up from blue and this kind of disjointed team fight start from the red team is going to spell their final demise and push over the win to, scoot over here, camera, to the blue team. As we kind of predicted, we had more of our pro players on the blue team, and with 3 of them all being a kind of even with I'm stuttering at the end here, even with Bwipo not being familiar on the Zac this season, only playing him 1 time with being this game. Same with Caps on Ziggs. It was more than likely the fact that the team with the majority of the pro players are going to end up winning here. Obviously, Carzzy had a tear him up game, getting multiple triple kills. I believe even almost a penta that one time, if we don't count the time in between, a quadra kill. So really solid game by him, and excited to see him perform in the mid-season invitational. If you're watching this on Twitch, thanks for tuning in. Sorry it's a little bit difficult for me to talk to y'all while I'm casting. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you already know what I'm going to say. If you could like this, if you could subscribe, it would help you catch some of these videos in the future. As I mentioned in the beginning of the cast, I am going to be focusing on players in the mid-season invitational coming up here, so stay tuned for that series. And until next time, I hope you guys have a great day or night or whatever it is for y'all. Peace.